Hello, traders, and welcome to the market opening preview on a Friday, September 30th, 2016. Currently 6:56 in Thailand, 18:56 on a Thursday night on Wall Street. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL. FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please come visit our website at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, I think it's going to be a hokey pokey Friday. I think we got some moves possibly in the works. I think a lot of it goes on what is the dollar going to do today. That's going to be the interesting point for the day, and we will get to that in just a moment. Traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday to celebrate my retirement. Well, traders, I'm in my 9th year. I'm still here in Asia. Absolutely loving it. It's a great time zone to trade Forex, as I can trade Asia in the morning, London in the afternoon, and about 2.5 hours of New York at night. And I do trade a different instrument in New York session. I trade options. So quite a busy day for me, but I love what I do. And just like I loved what I did for 27 years, I love what I do in retirement. I really enjoy trading the markets. All right, so let's talk about my trading style. Well, one is I do listen to fundamentals. Fundamentals are pretty important. That you know what's coming out. You sort of have a little bit of an understanding what it is and how it's going to affect your trade. So, fundamentals. You just have to be on it. You just have to be on it. I'll never know it all. I'll never, probably not even know 60% of it. But I know enough to keep myself out of trouble. And I know when somebody gets on a microphone, protect your position, right? Protect your position. That's what it's all about. We need fundamentals, one, to move the market, because fundamentals moves price action. And then we need to be careful of fundamentals to protect our positions. Traders, I do love being a technician. I love looking at candlestick charts. Price action, price structure, price failure, and price levels. Remember, price levels repeat themselves in Forex, and that gives us an edge. So if price is coming to that level again, we know that there's a possibility that this is going to react. We also have levels that we know about, right? The 20s, the 80s, the double zeros, and the 50 level, right? Those are usually levels that price reacts to. The double zeros, big psychological level, right? The 5-0s, are they going to make that midpoint or not? All that stuff comes into play. So what do? I take that and I put it along with my fundamentals and I come up with a trade plan. Once my trade plan is enacted, I set the trade plan, I put alerts on my charts, I wait for price to get to my price, and I wait for price to come back to where my trade plan is wanted me to enter that trade, whether it's long or short, and we basically get some confirmation and enter the trade. So that's just a little bit of how I trade. I do use moving averages, the 10, 55, and 200. And I do use pivot points during my trading day. All right, traders, that's enough about me. Let's get over to the risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex or any other financial market. Traders, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, this is a game of capital preservation. Live to trade another day. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's head over to news and commentary. And, it is a Friday, and I got to tell you, cloudy skies again in Thailand, but I am seeing some blue skies out west. We might get some sun today. We hope so. Hey, let's take a look at the markets. Seeing a lot of red in the U.S. session. The Dow 30 negative 1.07%. The S&P 500 down negative 0.93%. The Nasdaq down negative 0.93%. The small cap 2,000 negative 1.37%. Let's head over to the Eurozone. Mixed here. We got the DAX was negative 0.31%. The FTSE 100 out of London was positive 1.02%. The CAC 40 out of Paris was positive 0.26%. And the Eurostoxx 50 was down 0.04%. Let's head over to Asia. Let's see what's going on over here. The Nikkei 225, which is currently trading but just opened. And I'm not showing these numbers. These are yesterday's closes. Nikkei 225 closed negative 1.31%. S&P AS 100 200 closed negative 0.01%. And the China A50 closed up 0.48%, and the Hang Seng closed up 0.51%, and the Kospi closed negative 0.70%. Traders, the Asian markets just about the Nikkei and the S&P ASX and the Kospi is ready to open. It's just my platform is not giving me a current numbers, but they should have opened at 7 a.m. Thailand time. So that's okay. Let's take a look at our economic calendar for today. Spotty, to say the least. We do have some data coming out in Asia today. We have Gaxin Manufacturing PMI out of China today. Medium impact, we have out of the Aussie, we have private sector credit coming out. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect it. I don't think that's going to do anything. It shows medium impact, but we'll keep an eye on it. And then we get into the London session today. Not a lot, my friends, not a lot. But I think enough to keep us in there. And we do have some Great British Pound. We have GDP year on year for the second quarter. And we have also GDP quarter on quarter for Q2 coming out at the same time. So we get two good numbers there. Then we have the Euro has CPI year on year for September coming out in London. So London's going to be a little busy today. Going down towards the U.S. session, we have the CAD GDP month on month for July coming out. And traders, I'm pretty sure that wraps up the high impact news events. Nothing in New York data today that's going to be anything. We have Michigan consumer sentiment, which is a medium impact. Now, my experience with Michigan consumer expectations is that it does move the market. So we have Michigan consumer expectations and consumer sentiment coming out at the same time. And that will be 11 a.m. on Wall Street, 2100 hours in Thailand. All right, traders, that wraps up that. Let's talk about commentary. I do think today's going to be a good trading day. I think every day is a good trading day. But I think we're going to get a Friday blast, and hopefully the dollar gets strong and we continue to stay in the trend with our majors. Right, we're bearish in the euro, we're bearish in the Aussie, we're bearish in the pound, we're bearish in the Kiwi. So just hopefully we can keep that trend going. And it was an okay week. I think I made it sound like it was a bad week when I started this presentation, but it was an okay week. I just didn't make a lot of pips. The markets were trading in some nasty price action. I just didn't want to deal with it, right? But you got to be in it to win it, folks. You got to trade to win it. You got to be in it. All right, let's take a look at some charts. This is the euro dollar on a Friday. Now look at where this price action. This is horrible, folks. Who wants to take a trade in this? And we got data coming out today in the Eurozone out of the EU. So the best trade here is this needs to pull back to the R1 at 1.1245, and we can just take this to the downside. And we got plenty of room to get through this mess, hopefully without getting popped out. The other trade is I put a trend line in here. Take this trend line, close below it, retest it, close below it again, and enter the trade. Probably at about 1190 or 1195. We'll enter the trade. We'll get out at 1.1185. That's not a lot of pips. That's not going to work, folks. That is not going to work. That's going to be hard. And you're going to have to go to a higher time frame and look at this chart to see if there's any price action below that. There's none on the 30-minute. So this could technically just keep going down, right? Looks like it could do that very simply. All right, so we'll keep an eye on the euro. Not the top of my choices, so we'll just watch it. Let's take a look at the pound. Pound's made its statement to the downside, and I would have fibbed this, but I'm just looking for a pullback up to resistance, and that's that daily pivot point with the 55 EMA. That's a confluence there. Let's get in this at 1.2989, and we'll get out at 1.2942. It's a nice 45 pip trade. We just need this to give us sort of a pullback here. And we know the pound doesn't like giving pullbacks, so we'll just have to see. The other thing you do is put a trend line in there on on that sideways price action and see if you can get a trend line break and a test of it, and then take that down there. So, we're looking to have some profit taking at this R1 pivot point, which is where 12 1.2942 is at. So we'll take a look at that. But I'm expecting this just to continue, and we'll see how it goes, folks. But we need a pullback. I really don't want to enter a trade here. This, to me, is like asking for trouble, right? You could put a fib on there, but I think you're going to come out to the 50%, probably around that daily pivot. So nothing to do here, folks. We just need price action to work for us a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the Aussie. Aussie, nice statement yesterday. The downside, just need this to pull back to the 200, the daily pivot point in the 55, or one spot at 0.7652, and we'll sell it. Doesn't look like it wants to go there, but it's sideways, so I'm hoping that it's going to just come back up, and probably London Lunch will be able to sell this down to 0.7603, and we'll just see how that works. I think this China data in Asia is going to affect the Aussie dollar, so we'll have to come back to this after that data is released. And I think that's 21:30 on Wall Street when that data comes out. Okay, let's take a I'm sorry, I was doing too many things at one time. So this Aussie, this just yells at me. It just wants to continue to the downside. You're gonna have to put a second trade plan together if this breaks to the downside from here, because this is riding the 10 EMA, my friends. This is just pounding this 10 EMA to the downside, and we got a 255 pointing down. Yeah, this looks to me like this is not going to want to pull back, and we'll see what happens after this China data comes out in about 2.5 hours. Okay, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. We talked about this yesterday, that there was a strong possibility that this was going to continue to the upside. Well, my friends, it did exactly that. Broke through this 200, gave you some shots here, and this was a sell here, folks. This was a sell. Didn't work very good, but this was a sell, right? 3 indecision candles, boom, closes below the 200, red candle, second candle, you're in. What happens? You get in this mess here. This is probably a level here, and this thing just bounces from there and heads back to the upside. Oh, sorry, friends. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to sell this. My bearish bias is bearish, right? Bias bearish. We want to sell this. So I need this to come back down to like this 1.4670 area. Give me a bearish candlestick formation and hopefully get the 10 EMA on top of price, and we'll sell this to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for. We'll take profit at support at 1.4564. Easy trade plan, just need it to work. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Yen. Euro Yen did exactly what we wanted it to do yesterday. Wanted to come down, came down late in New York, sideways most of the day yesterday, came down late in New York, pulled back, and now we're sideways. But we're in a nasty spot here, my friends. We don't want to do anything till this closes below the 200 exponential moving average, or comes back up to that 114.10 area at that R1 pivot point on the top of the chart, which is resistance. But we don't want to do anything where price is now. It's going to pull back to the R1, or we're going to take it in a break below the 200 exponential moving average, a retest at 113.17, and we'll sell it to 112.30. Now, we're going to hit that 112.00 level. We know that's a psychological level, and we know that the Euro Yen is going to react to that. So just be alert to that. All right, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Took some time yesterday, but finally did break down below that mirage of price action with the 200, the 55, and the 10. And now we're sideways. So I'm just looking for a little pullback to the daily pivot point at 0.7258. And we're going to take profit at the the S1 pivot point at 0.7224. And, this just might continue without this pullback, right? This has that same look, doesn't it? The 200, the 55, the 10, all pointing down, and price is riding the 10 EMA. So again, might be one that you're going to have to stick a second trade plan together because, again, the New Zealand dollar is going to be affected by this data coming out in China, the Gaxon manufacturing data. So we'll keep an eye on that. Traders, that wraps up our currency charts today on a Friday. And looks interesting to me. I think it's going to be an interesting day, if nothing else, to watch. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, it is a Friday. Let's try to get out of this week with a happy end of week pippage, and let's get some pips before we have our weekend break. Looking forward to that. Traders, always remember to trade smart and not hard, my friends, and we'll see you at the next Asia session, which will be Sunday night on Wall Street, Monday morning in Thailand. Traders, take care, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.